Hi, I'm Teja. I'm a developer relations engineer at Harness. In this video, we're going to talk about the CI/CD security posture management with Harness SCS. So before we jump into the whole detail, let's take a look at what it actually is. So the CI/CD security posture management is a system for ensuring your pipelines and the configurations are monitored for security control. So it will detect all the risky actions in your pipelines through a complete static analysis and by applying industry standard software supply chain benchmarks such as OWASP top 10 CI/CD risk and Harness own supply chain benchmarks. So to give you a detailed picture, this is how the overall flow looks like. So let's go one by one. It all starts by getting your CI/CD pipelines onboarded through an app installation. As of now, we support the CI/CD SPM for Harness pipelines and GitHub workflows. So this app installation is what sets the initial bridge between the SCS and your CI/CD pipelines to fetch the necessary information. And right after the installation, the SCS module will fetch all the required details with respect to pipeline definitions, settings, configurations, etc. And then it applies the supply chain benchmarks. And as of now, it is OWASP and Harness, and moving forward, SCS will support other benchmarks too. And then, based on all the rule evaluations, the SCS module will provide a detailed risk and compliance poster of your CI/CD workflows. And then we'll look at how they can help us in strengthening the overall supply chain security. So now, let's get into the demo. So here we are in the Harness SCS module in the Get Started section. So this is where you'll be onboarding your CI/CD workflows or pipelines into SCS. So let's go ahead and click on Get Started. And as you can see, you have the available integrations and the integrations that are coming soon. Under the available, right now we have Harness and GitHub, and moving forward, there will be a lot more coming on. So if you're onboarding your Harness pipelines, it's pretty straightforward. You can just expand this, and under CI/CD security, you can just click on Enable. It will take you to the integrations page and shows you that the integration is successful and the status is active. So onboarding Harness pipelines into SCS is just a one-click process. Now let's go ahead and see how we can do it for GitHub. So here we are and expand GitHub, and here you can see onboard your repositories and workflows. You can click on configure, and this will take us to the Get Started page for the GitHub integrations, where it's just a two-step process where you just configure integrations through the GitHub app, and then you choose the repositories to perform the scan. So let's go ahead and click on Launch GitHub to configure, and this will take us to the Harness SCS app where you have the complete details, and you can just click on configure. So this is the app that helps us to link between your GitHub repository and Harness SCS. So as you move down, you should be able to find the permissions and also the repository access that you can set. Right here, you have two options. Either you can give all repository access, which means Harness SCS can access all of your repositories, or you can select specific repositories for which you want to set the CI/CD SPM. So I have already selected my repositories. I can click on save, and this will take me back to the Get Started flow. And right now here in the second step, you should be able to find all the list of repositories that I've already selected. Have another option to choose here, which is automatically add all future repositories owned by the resource owner. So I'm just keeping it as default enabled. And now let's click on finish. And at the moment I click on finish, I have taken back to the integration page like how I did for Harness pipeline, and I can see that it's active and it is connected. So behind the scenes, the SCS module will initiate a pipeline to fetch all the workflows from the selected repositories, apply the standards, and present the results. So for all this to happen, it will take some time. So after fast forwarding, so now let's go ahead into the CI/CD section where you can find all the pipelines from the repositories that you have selected. So here we are with a complete overview of the total pipelines and the risk and compliance issues, which are 166 active issues, which are broken down into critical, high, and medium, and low. And when you look into a pipeline level, you have the pipeline and the source, and then the risk and compliance issues broken down into the severity again and the last scan. So to show an example, we can get inside a specific pipeline. So inside the pipeline, we have a quick overview about the general information on the name of the pipeline and the last evaluation. And then we have the evaluation breakdown. So there are total 10 evaluations that happened, and out of which 5 rules passed and 5 rules failed. And then further, they are broken down into critical, high, and medium, and low. And then we have the evaluation trend graph. So this graph presents the trend of evaluations over the time, showing the number of rules passing and failing with respect to the date. So this helps you to visualize the improvement or decline in the security posture of your workflows. So you can look the data for the last 24 hours or 7 days or 30 days. And next we have the risk and compliance section. So this is where you should be able to find all the rules that are applied on the pipeline. So you should be able to find the rule name along with its standard, the severity, and then the latest status with the evaluation time and the evaluation history. So as you click on a specific rule, you should be able to find further details about the rule and the reason along with the general remediation. And furthermore, you should be able to also click on a specific evaluation history item to view further details of that specific evaluation. Furthermore, you can fetch all the rules which are passed or failed, and then you can also set the severity of critical and then see the exact rules that you wanted to fix. And next you have the complaint section. So this section serves as a hub for assessing and understanding the risk posture of your entire supply chain. So not just specific to CI/CD pipeline. This section is just an indispensable for the GRC team as it provides a detailed evaluation results after applying all the rules to various entities within your supply chain, and that includes code repositories, CI/CD, and everything. So you can also see the evaluation breakdown across all the entities. There are 1019, out of which 509 rules passed and 510 failed, and then they are presented on the basis of severity here. Similarly, you also have an evaluation trend across all the entities. Here you can see the rules that most often failed, and then you also have an option to see the CI/CD rules. There are 81 rules which failed out of 1 or 2. And next we have the rules tab. So this is where we have all the rules and their evaluations attached. So for example, if I just go for pipelines, you should be able to find a specific pipeline. For example, ensure pipeline step produces an SBOM. If you just see that there are 24 pipelines for which the rule is applied, out of which 16 failed and 7 passed. And you can get further more details by just clicking on it, where you can see all the impacted entities or the impacted pipelines for which the status was failed, and then you also have an evaluation history across. And you can know more about it by just clicking on the impacted entity. You can see a similar about, a reason, and the general remediation. And then to show you another example, here you have another rule called unpinned GitHub actions, and as you click into it, you should be able to find all the impacted entities. If I just open a failed one, the semgrip.aml, which has the latest status as failed, if I just open that up, you should be able to find the about, reason, general remediation. But most importantly, you have an occurrence here where you should be able to find the exact location and the evidence snippet which uses an unpinned GitHub action. As you click into the link, you should be able to see the exact line that is using an unpinned GitHub action. So comprising all of this, you get a complete and a deeper visibility into the security posture of your CI/CD workflows. Thank you.